Welcome, acolytes. Today I am reacting to I lost my job to AI this week. But before we actually start, I finally did halfway the Discord channel. If you actually want entrance to it or just chat sometimes with me, then just leave a comment down below because I'm not sure I'm gonna do it if I'm gonna literally just wait, hey, okay, individual invitation or share the link to it. But I would be happy if one or two people would actually chat from time to time and just maybe say what they like, dislike. So, but until now, I lost my job to AI this week. This is actually something that will pop up way more than it does right now. Why am I saying this? Well, because AI, very, very effective thing. A lot of jobs will be lost by it. And if you're bad at your job, you're probably one of the ones that go bye-bye first. But I, of course, don't know how, what, and when he actually did what he did or what he's actually doing. But let's just start and see what he has to say. And by the way, if you like my content, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. And let's see another straight. Show me and him some love if he deserves it. So let's just start.
Hello. I don't know if anyone does live commentaries anymore where they talk about something that's happened in their life and the background is, gameplay. But that's what this is today. So, something a bit different. It's still Halo gameplay as you'd expect from this channel. But the topic of discussion is that I just lost my job. And I lost it to AI, which is very unfortunate. I think many people...
Ooh. I'm gonna be honest, yes, this will happen, yes, and I am... It may be that I am cold-hearted. I still feel with the guy. Because still losing your job because of AI is shitty, it will be shitty, but at the end of the day, it will happen. It will happen to probably a lot of us. And we just have to accept it and hope that you're not the shittiest part of... in your job, so because let's just hear what he has to say again.
People joke about the fact that AI is going to take all our jobs and we're all going to get replaced, and especially within my industry, which is graphic design. My job, I've been a graphic designer for the past 8 years of my life, and I've worked at this specific company for 6 years. You would think that...
Oh, okay. Graphic designer, a lot of people want to do it, and a lot of people can do it. And AI, well, AI can actually do this job pretty well. So yeah, I think those are the next steps the next jobs that will actually lose. And if you're not a very, very especially talented person in that specific case, you will lose your job. So right now I just presume that he is actually skilled in his field, because if he did it for 8 years, I assume that he first of all had at least fun with it, or somewhat fun, or that he is like halfway decent at his job, and maybe the only manko he had was not correctly communicating with his colleagues, and I mean that the social thing. Because even if you're a little bit a smidge worse than somebody else, but you're pal with your colleagues or with your boss, your boss won't kick you out that early. So
being one of the longest running employees, being there 6 years, having a wage increase almost every year, and being very much valued because I was the only graphic designer left, you'd think they want to keep me on as much as possible. I mean, I barely was allowed to take holiday because I was the only designer. So if I was off, then nobody could cover for me, and the company ended up...
I'm baffled. What the fuck, really? If he's telling the truth, what the fuck?
With work stacking up. However, over the past 3 months, I'd say, I've noticed that my schedule at the company became like less and less cluttered, and it got to the point where I was getting paid for a 7-hour and 30-minute day, and some days only doing 2 hours of work, which obviously was great for me. I loved it. Got up at 9 o'clock because it was work from home as well.
As you heard, and I'm gonna repeat it, you heard they actually reduced his job times. If you're ever in a firm and this happens to you, then please start looking for a different job. Because the possibility that you will actually lose your job just skyrockets in this moment. And it's not necessarily what I actually assumed at the start. I was probably wrong if he's telling the truth. It's just because, well, the firm just told, nope, we can go out way cheaper by just making an AI or finding somebody that's actually cheaper and just does the thing with AI. So this guy, if it's true what he says, just got freaking unlucky. And really, really effing unlucky. Because if he's skilled in his specific thing, he will find a job. If he's really good, he will still find a job. It's just a freaking shock at the start.
I'd do 2 hours of work and I'd have nothing left to do for the rest of the day. Maybe some revisions / amends would come in at like 3 or 4 o'clock. I'd do those for 20-30 minutes and that'd be my day. I'd essentially do between 2 and 3 hours of work and get paid for 7.5. It was great for like 3 or 4 months. And then, on Monday this week, I got told that I'm being made redundant. And I was thinking, how could this be possible? You clearly need a graphic designer. The company I work at is a marketing agency who does email and web designs for clients. I was a bit confused on that one. And then
I just think he didn't read the signs. Because as he actually explains it, it was pretty obvious to me that this will at one point happen. It's just, like, you as the boss, like, you won't pay someone to stay for 2 hours and pay the person 7 hours. Like, this sounds insane. And I understand if he is, as he says, just a really good worker and does his thing really good, even then, well, no. This was pretty obvious to me, at least. Maybe, but I also think he was a bit cocky.
I did a bit of digging, asked a few people, and it turns out basically all of the material that I've provided over the past 6 years is now being fed to AI and templated. So a design that would take me 30 minutes now takes AI 30 seconds. As it's been trained on all my templates. Essentially, I think it just literally reuses my templates.
No. Oh, this is scummy. Like, this is really scummy. So they basically, if I understand it, they basically took him, like his work, and trained the AI on his work. So the AI can copy him. This is effed up. This is just totally scummy and effed up. Damn, I didn't expect this. Like, there should be some, or I at least hope there would be some rulings against this. Because if this is true, this is really bad.
And then they can input the hex codes they want the email or the website design to be, drag and drop in the client's logo, upload the client's font, and boom, it will generate my template but using their brand assets. And I thought, it makes sense from a business point of view, but it's extremely scummy. It puts me out of a job. My immediate thought was, well, let's go to some competitor companies and see if they're looking for designers. I've looked at between 10 and 15 competitors, and every single other competitor is doing the exact same thing. Some of them even boasting about it on their website and going as far as simply inputting your website URL. It will extract all the assets and learn about that website and then artificially generate email and web templates for your brand.
Damn. This is one of the scummiest things that AI could have done. Or, I mean, the AI isn't at fault here. It's just the AI is a tool. And yes, it was inevitable because at some point this would have happened. But I really wish that until this happens or things like this start happening, we will have some rulings, some countries will say, nope, if you do this, you're actually scamming the person out, just get the F off. He can sue you, but well.
That is insane. Like, email and web designers are going to be completely out of jobs this year. Like, it just removes the need for us completely. And I think the graphic design industry is where most people cracked jokes about AI taking over. You know, oh, AI generation can't do it. It messes up the hands, or it gets things wrong, and it clearly looks like AI. But those days are past us. Like, AI progresses incredibly fast, and I've used some of it myself to see if it actually works. And I've asked some people, like, you know, hey, here's this drawing I did as a concept for like a video game character or a weapon or an environment, and they can't tell that it's AI anymore. It's progressed so far that I genuinely think within the next 6 to 12 months, many, like thousands, even tens of thousands of graphic designers will lose their jobs. And it's a serious problem because it's the main skill I have. You know, I've been a graphic designer professionally since I was 19. I'm now 27, about to turn 28, so almost 10 years of my life. I went to college for this. You're going to tell me that I literally went to college for something that's now going to be redundant in the industry? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, sadly, this just happens. Welcome to real life. And I feel for him. I really do. I wish this wasn't this way, but at the end, well, now you actually have to look for a different job. And don't worry about it. If you're actually competent, you will find something different that pays well. But the job you learned for, it's redundant. Yes. Sadly, I think it's coming, but you know, it's just, I'm gonna be honest, I can't do shit against it, so just have to accept it and move on. And at the end of the day, I just hope that my job won't get redundant that quick. And that's all. And I really hope that we actually find some jobs for those people, because no, you know what? We have enough jobs. Even like low paying stuff. Yeah, no, we have enough. Like, we got enough jobs. You just have to accept it, look for something different, learn something different, even if it's shitty, but well, and just start over. And I know you say it's unfair, and I would agree, it's really unfair, it's stupid, it's disgusting, but hey, that's AI. AI is coming, and it won't slow down for anyone.
Like, my fallback plan is literally a retail job, which I obviously don't want to do. I have minor experience in game design, but nothing that will land me a middleweight job. I'd have to get an entry-level job and take a massive pay cut of probably £4,000 to £6,000 a year. It's an incredibly difficult position to be in. I have a house, I have a mortgage to pay, I have bills. I thought I was financially stable, so I have a couple of things on finance because obviously I thought I had money coming in every month. And the redundancy pay I will get will cover me for maybe 3 to 4 months, and then I'll be out of money. So I have 3 to 4 months to figure out my situation, which luckily is a decent amount of time. But other people won't be so fortunate. The only reason I get...
Okay, good. He actually said that he's fortunate about it, because yes, having 3 months preparing, and at the end of the day, sorry, you have a luxury problem in this case. And yes, it might sound worse than I am saying it, but he has, even though he has a bad situation, in this bad situation, he's still looking pretty fine, to be honest. He, of course, he has to give up on some things, but clutch your butt cheeks up and do it. It is what it is. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, and it's just, hey, just do it. You just have to start anew.
Get a good redundancy package because I was there for 6 years, right? Some people who have only been at a company for 1 or 2 years will not get a good redundancy package.
Yep.
It will be 1 month's wages and they send you on your way. And that's how it works in the UK. I don't know how it works in other countries. It could be worse. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not stressing too much right now because obviously I'm good for a few months. I can look for jobs. And I do know that obviously if I absolutely have to, I can land myself some kind of retail or warehouse or sales like entry-level job, and I'll have enough money to survive. However, this like growth of AI in the industry is gonna completely destroy like my hopes and dreams of becoming a senior or like creative lead at a company, having my own juniors underneath me, apprentices, stuff like that. Like that is my realistic goal. Obviously my unrealistic goal is to run my own company or do YouTube or something like that, but my realistic goal with the skill I have would be a senior/lead design position, and it seems like that's less and less likely to happen now because of the rise of AI. So yeah, as I said, I understand it from the company's
Yeah, and as he says, yes, it's reduced, but you just have to look for something new. Simple as, like, yes, I say simple as that, it's still shitty, I feel for him, but as a lot of people before and after you just have to clench your butt cheeks and go. Do the things you have to do and do it.
perspective. I spoke to my boss about it. I very much understand his point of view, and letting people go isn't easy, but look, if you can let go of a couple designers and you save yourself tens of thousands a year, I do understand it from a business point of view, but it just sucks that this technology exists.
Yep. I agree with him.
So yeah, that's my current situation. It's not great. The past 40 to 50 days have been terrible for me. I've lost my job. I had a secondary side business with my friend selling little plush toys. He's pulled out of that, so that business might not happen anymore either. And then my
you know what? You risked something and you lost something. That's bad, but at least the initiative was there. And yeah, that's. But as I said, like, you own a house, my man. If you own a house, you're in an extremely, extremely lucky state. Like, you're really good in it. Like, you made some money or did something very, very correctly. And it doesn't sound that you have a bigger side hustle that actually offered you the money. Just because, as I am a landlord to a certain part, but I actually only landlord, like, I get paid for it. I still have a lot of, like, I'm paying a lot of taxes, and still my houses aren't paid off, so I'm basically on zero all the freaking time, all the time. But I still did this and still work a real job and do this for free, basically, like my little my little reaction channel here. So there's that, and it's not hard, but if you invest, do it. Like, just, and before you actually buy a house, you could have just built something up, just like I did, and try to do it like a different way before you actually buy the house, and just live under the means you actually could afford for a while at least. Like, and that's just something that a lot of people don't do.
video game, which was like a third-person Halo game called Cross Planet, is also no longer in production because of disagreements and conflicts within the team. A couple staff members didn't agree with things, couldn't align and have a clear vision, so the project is ending after 3.5 years. So my whole schedule, as I know it, has been torn from me. I have 24 hours in a day, and absolutely 0 of them are allocated to something. I'm just complete.
Oh, that's on you. That's on you. That's totally on you. You really you have to move your ass and do something with this time. That's definitively on you. Move your ass. And now I think you had a very nice job as this sounds right now. Like you got extremely lucky from what I can hear right now. So please stand up, be happy that you got this lucky, and just freaking do something with your time. And don't just waste it. And yes, it is hard. It is really, really demoralizing doing this stuff. Just getting fired like this. And not being prepared for it this much. Because as it sounds, you didn't say you actually have on the... You don't have any money on the Hohe Kante, as you say in Germany, so on the side. So, bruh, it's on you. A lot of it, it's on you. But also, you still have time to do something useful with your time. So do something useful with your time.
Completely free. Like, you know, some may see it as a good opportunity to change my life around and dive into something new, but that's dangerous and quite scary. My boss told me that if he thinks that I would be happiest if I freelanced or if I ran my own business. Obviously those things are true, but like I said, I have a mortgage to pay and bills and stuff like that, and freelance is not sustainable for some people. You might have 2 months where you're extremely successful, and then you could have 5 where for some reason you just struggle to sell. In that situation, I would quite literally lose my house. So it's an extremely scary thing to dive into. I don't think any of my family would recommend trying to use my redundancy pay to keep me alive and start my own business. It's just it's not the ideal situation. It's the last thing that I'd try and do. So yeah, that's it. There's the live comp for today. That's the situation I'm in. Does leave me with a lot of time to do YouTube. I think what I'll probably do is maybe take take a week or 2 to myself, and then after that I'm going to be heavily looking for another position and see how it goes. So maybe over the next 2 weeks we'll see more YouTube videos or something, but you know, the chances of YouTube turning into something that actually brings in money is very unlikely. I do make a bit of revenue from YouTube, but it's nothing really. Somewhere in the region of £20 to £40 a month, which is absolutely not enough to even pay.
Okay, he's actually doing something with the time. He has 3 months, so if he just takes a bit of time for himself, that's actually quite a nice idea. If he needs it, just get in, think about it, and do something productive. It doesn't necessarily have to bring you the money in. It should be something like that, but if you can afford it, it's fine. And just, yeah.
My food, never mind to pay my mortgage. My YouTube channel is nowhere big enough. It's just, the money that I get from YouTube is enough to buy myself a nice pair of shoes at the end of the month. Or, I don't know, it pays for something like a bit of food, or maybe if something needs repairing, or I want a new game, Yeah, it's rough.
Really? Because after I make some money, I'm actually gonna start investing it into my channel again. Yes, because the first thing that comes, I will bring this freaking character up to snuff, make him move, a VTubing stuff, and then just invest continually. And you're already making money and you're already throwing it out. Come on. Come on. Just put the money somewhere in where you make interest out of it. Or maybe, I don't know, just some extra stuff you don't need the money for. You risk something, you get something out of it. Not lotto, but yeah, it sounds that he is actually in a situation where he could have planned for, but didn't. So yeah, I feel with him, but I don't feel necessarily bad. Does this make sense?
So hopefully May and June, prove to be more positive. We'll see. Yeah, thanks for watching this video, and goodbye.
And okay, as I see it, this guy underprepared for such a thing. And I don't know his entire life. I don't know how he's doing, blah, blah, blah. But as he actually explained everything, I think he didn't see the inevitable and just assumed that everything's gonna be fine always. And that's a big mistake. Life just happens. And, well, life just happened. And it happened hard. He just has to really get used to it. And just look for something else. Good, he has the time. He actually can afford some time for himself, so he should actually do it. But at the end of the day, he's still one lucky bastard. Let's just say it like this. Like, he still had a lot of luck in life. So, or luck, skill, call it as you want. But I think a mix out of skill and luck is always a thing. Always, no matter what you do. If you're skilled at something, it can bring you so far. But if you're lucky with it, it brings you way farther. Like, really, really, really way farther. But as it is, acolytes, good night.